Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video, I'm excited to do. We are gonna be decluttering. We're gonna be decluttering all of the makeup in my collection except for a few products. Okay, I don't know if anyone actually believed me when I said that, but today's video we're gonna be revisiting a YouTube tag, and this is where we go through our makeup collection and we talk about if we could only keep a certain amount of products and we were getting rid of everything else. We were decluttering everything else. So it's a bit of a fantasy video. I'm gonna be talking about the makeup products that I would keep if I was decluttering everything else in my collection. I either have one or two items from each category that I narrowed it down to, so this was still not an easy one to do, but if that sounds interesting to you, let's go ahead and get started. All right, welcome. So I always start my videos with an outfit of the day. We are very relaxed today. Flip-flops, just some casual shorts and my Hawaii shirt that I got from Target. I just finished filming this Get Ready With Me. I've just been doing these different style videos that kind of focus on the older products in my collection or just what I already have in my collection versus the new products. So I've seen a couple requests. You guys have been killing it with the requests. So please keep them coming if you have any ideas for what you want to see. But I've seen a lot of these videos of revisiting these tags of if I could only keep so many products, if I was getting rid of everything else, what is it that I would keep in my collection? So that is where the idea for this video came from. And I have to say, there was certain categories that it was hard. There was others that it was pretty simple for me to choose out. But again, like I said, filmed this makeup look, a lot of old products on my face right here. I always link everything down below. Any products that I'm talking about, I will also link those. Also, if you are new here and you want to have fun with what you already have in your makeup collection and use up what we already have, make sure that you are subscribed. I post about 4 to 5 times a week. So I'm gonna start with a category that I felt really confident about. Like when I opened up my foundation drawer, I was like, doop, doop. I grabbed 2 right away. And then I was like, wait, okay, let me think, because you're not just grabbing your favorites, and it's not just grabbing my new favorites, it's not just grabbing my old favorites. You're trying to think, if I had to get rid of everything else in my collection, would it make sense to keep the 2 of these? Am I keeping 2 of the exact same products? But, okay, so what I came up with, the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation, favorite of mine, and the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, favorite of mine. I opened my foundation drawer, I went boop, boop, and then I was like, I don't know if this is right because they're kind of similar, but I have a certain preference for foundation. I like light medium coverage, medium, like maybe medium buildable. Like I have the double wear on today, and that's like as much coverage as I want to go. So a lot of times when I'm reaching for foundations, even on nights that I know I'm gonna be out for a long time and I want my makeup to stay on, I'll still reach for these. I like, so that's why I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with it, because say someone came and stole my whole foundation collection. They took all my foundations. A friend backstabbed me. She came and she took them all. What are the 2 foundations that I would go out and repurchase right away? It would be the Dior Backstage and the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, because I wear these all of the time. The Dior Backstage, if you see the mark on it, it is in my current Project Pan video. I'm really trying to stay consistent on my Project Pan video right now and going through products or just seeing how quickly I use them up. I've been flinging this foundation bottle all around, but you can see where my mark is. I want to see in 2 months, how much did I use? Because I'm just trying to be more mindful of using what I have instead of spending more money to just bring in more makeup when I already feel like I'm drowning in makeup anyways. And then the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, I mean, I'm almost out of this just regardless. I'm almost out of this one and I will repurchase it. It's more affordable. I wear it all the time. It holds up so well. These are just both really beautiful foundations, and I just don't want to be without them. A category that was not hard for me was powders. I honestly thought about just doing 1 powder, and then I was like, no, Samantha, you're saying that you can have 2 in each category, so let's do 2. No, if you've been around my channel for a while, you already knew what we were going to be talking about. But the Charlotte Tilbury, I like to use the Flawless, the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in 2 medium. I really like to use this for my under eyes. If you can't tell, I think this is my 3rd compact of this one. So clearly I really enjoy it, but this is beautiful for setting the under eyes. It's such a finely milled powder that it doesn't make the under eyes look too like heavy or crusty or anything like that. And then my Dior Powder No Powder, I use this in the shade 3N. I mean, I use this, okay? This is a product that, like both of these, I go through these products. This is probably my 5th one from Dior. I use this all of the time. I think it just blurs my skin, makes my skin look like a filter. When I was especially struggling with acne, I leaned on the Dior Powder No Powder so much because it made my skin so beautiful. But even still, if I want to add like a little bit more coverage, it pairs exceptionally well with the Dior Backstage, but I think it looks great with the Wet n Wild. Like say I am going somewhere and I really want my makeup to stay, I can just pack on the Dior Powder No Powder and my makeup's not gonna go anywhere. It lasts through anything. I've worn this powder through a hot yoga class and my makeup did not move. Like I would be good to go with those 2 powders. I did want to pull a primer. I just pulled one in here, but I still wanted to include one. So I chose out from Lawless. This is the Set the Stage Hydrating Primer Serum. This is one of those primers that I just always go back to. I was trying to play with it. I believe I only have like this much left of it. It's supposed to be kind of a skincare and a primer in one, so it's another reason why I chose it out for that. But it's one of those that just makes my skin feel really nice. It makes my skin feel smooth and soft, and I feel like all of my foundations apply better on top of it. And I was looking at all my other primers and it's like, sometimes I don't want a gripping primer. Sometimes I don't want a necessarily like mattifying primer, but sometimes I don't want a super glowy primer. This is just one that hydrates the skin and makes the foundation look really nice on top of. I have dry skin. I was like, you know what? A hydrating primer, that sounds right to me. I also did want to include a setting spray. There was a couple I had grabbed out, the Urban Decay All Nighter, of course. Also, I really like the Benefit Super Setter, but if I had to choose, I would go with the MAC Fix Plus. I just repurchased this one fairly recently. Again, it's just one of those. It was in the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, so I believe it was like half off. And it was like, you know what? I don't want to not have the MAC Fix Plus in my collection anymore. I really like this spray because I feel like it melts down all of like the powders on your face and it just makes your makeup look more natural. So again, if I go a little heavy with the Dior powder or any other powder that I'm using and I'm like, ooh, I don't know, that might be a little bit too much, or like I put too much blush on or something along those lines, I just feel like I can spray the Fix Plus and it just looks more natural. It looks a little bit more, I don't know if I necessarily want to say toned down, but it's a better effect. It's a better effect when I spray the MAC Fix Plus. So if I had to choose any setting spray to come with me, it's gonna be this one. Moving over to a few tougher categories, such as one of my favorite categories, which is bronzer. So again, as I was thinking about doing this video, I'm also doing my ranking series right now, which is where I go through the different categories of makeup and I rank them from my least favorite to my top favorite. So already up is my bronzers. That's what we kicked it off with. I have over 30 bronzers. And then I also have blushes. I have over 50 blushes. So we got a lot going on there as well. And I was thinking about it and I was like, well, I'll just grab the top 2. And then again, I'm like, but no, that's not how it, you want, like, do you want different finishes? Do you want the different formulas? Do you want creams? Do you want powder? Do you want liquid? Like, it doesn't just have to be your top 2 favorites. It's what do you just want to make sure that you have in your collection. So I thought about it and I still had to choose out, you know, one of my tippy top favorites, the Rare Beauty Bronzer Stick. This one is just so easy to use. It's so natural. It's just one of those like great to throw in a travel bag. I do throw this in a travel bag all of the time. So it's just one of those that the day this video goes live, am I in Hawaii? I'm wearing my Hawaii shirt because I'm seeing my friend tonight that I am going to Hawaii with as her husband. Her husband can no longer attend the wedding, so I'm stepping in place. So I think the day this video goes up, I'm actually going to be in Hawaii, which is very exciting. But will I be bringing the Rare Beauty Bronzer Stick? Yes. Yes, I will. It's great. It's so easy to use. Like, I can't not have it. But then I was looking at all the other bronzers and I was like, this is so hard. This is so hard. I feel confident about this. I ended up going with, from Ofra Cosmetics, this is the Bronzer Duo in River. It is in collaboration with myself. But let me explain myself. I did it because this is a split pan bronzer. So you have matte on one side and shimmer on the other side. So I now have a cream bronzer and then a powder bronzer, but with a matte and a shimmer side. I also go into this a lot for eyeshadow, especially the matte bronzer. I use that as eyeshadow very frequently. Again, a perfect one to travel with. You got the little mirror in here as well. But essentially, I have 3 bronzers. See what I did there? You can still get all of my collab products with Ofra are available on the website. A few of them are also on Ulta Beauty. If you want to purchase from Ofra Cosmetics, literally my blush is right here. My blush and Chic is sitting right in front of me as well. But I do have my code with Ofra and it is just Samantha. And that's how I got 3 bronzers out of this video. Blush was also difficult because I first reached for what was not even my top blush. And then I also was like, wait, I want to include my top blush. But then I was like, wait, these are both 2 powder products. What do I do? But you know what? This is what we did. So the first blush that I actually reached for is from Lawless Beauty. This is ranked very highly in my ranking video. This is in Vintage Love. And I said, this is just a go-to blush for me. It's a matte blush. It's very that neutral pinky tone. And I think that it's beautiful. Kind of reminds me a little bit in a way of like the Tarte Partey. I think that one's a little bit lighter. But this is just beautiful. It blends easily. It looks so natural. I was like, I need to have my Lawless Vintage Love. Again, this travels with me very frequently. But then I was like, I have to give, I have to have my top spot in here too, which, spoiler alert, is the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic. And this is in the shade Pillow Talk. And I really wanted to include this one too, because this is a little bit more on the shimmery side. And it has like the little shimmer here in the middle and a matte on the outside. These are similar in shades to one another, but I don't really get super adventurous with my blushes. I thought about doing like the Benefit Butterfly, like the orange blush, but I was like, if I have to get rid of all of my blushes, I want to keep the blushes that I love and that I can wear on like a daily basis. And for me, that is this color. Your daily basis blush might be purple or yellow. I'm starting to see like throwback videos of Halloween from last year. I was the yellow Power Ranger and I did yellow blush, and I'm like, I know me and my friends are starting to talk about Halloween, but I'm like, can I just be the yellow Power Ranger again? Mostly because I just want to do that makeup look. I loved it so much. This all yellow look, I thought it was fabulous. But again, if I'm getting rid of everything, I do want to keep these 2. And I considered in there, I was like, should I put in a cream or a liquid? Like I love the Rare Beauty liquid blushes, the M Cosmetics cream blushes. But I'm like, I've always said that I like a cream or liquid bronzer the most, then usually highlight. For blushes, I just prefer a powder blush. I just find them the easiest. They're what I gravitate towards the most. Like I still like I have plenty that I enjoy, but if I'm gonna be decluttering everything, I don't think that I would keep a cream or a liquid blush. Hot take. But then I also wanted to include a face duo, and I was thinking about a face palette. Truly, I don't have a lot of face palettes anymore. I've decluttered a lot of those. I was very ruthless in my Declutter series at the end of last year. I'm probably gonna be much more ruthless in my Declutter series this year. But I was like, I still wanna add something. So I went with the iconic London Rose Glow duo because I have another blush in here, and this one is a very shimmery blush. So I have the matte, I have like the matte shimmer, and then I have shimmer if that's what I want, but it also has a highlight in here. So I was like, look at that. This would be, once again, travel with this a lot. Travel was definitely on my mind when I was thinking of this video as well. And I was trying to think, what do I reach for a lot? What do I pull for a lot in my travel bags? Because those kind of show you like, I'm gonna be gone for a week. What is it that I have to have with me? What is the makeup that I feel comfortable and confident in, that even when I'm getting ready in maybe shoddy hotel room lighting, or I only have a few minutes to get to wherever I have to be, what is the makeup I'm most comfortable bringing? So that's kind of what was also on my mind. And this one, it's so beautiful. I bought it on a whim and it ended up being a favorite product of mine. I did also include this highlighter, because again, this would only be 2 highlighters. We have the highlighter in the iconic London, and then the Mary LouManizer from TheBalm. She's actually what I'm wearing today. Probably on this since like 2016, 2017, even though it looks like I've barely used it at all. It's like, don't show me. That's embarrassing. Something about this, like I just can't declutter the Mary LouManizer. I feel like I just have so many memories with this highlight of being like, I'm really a beauty YouTuber now. Now that I own Mary LouManizer, I am legit, and I just like still can't part with it. This has made it through so many of my declutters, truly so many of my declutters. I still keep around the Mary Lou. I would love to hit pan in this one day. I feel like I would feel so successful if I ever managed to hit pan in the Mary Lou, but I'm like, you know what? Take all my other highlights, but just like leave Mary Lou behind, okay? She might ride or die. For whatever reason, I feel like concealers were a little bit tough for me. I had pulled out quite a few at one point, and I was like, how do I narrow this down? But this is what I ended up with. The Nars Soft Matte Concealer and the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer. And I wanted to grab these for two separate reasons. So for the Nars Soft Matte, I use the shade Creme Brulee, and this is a pot concealer. This I find really nice for covering acne, especially any breakouts. I went through a pretty difficult acne journey when I was in fertility treatments. It wrecked my skin on my face, skin on my chest, you know, my back, my shoulders, everything. And it was such a challenging time. The Nars Soft Matte just saved me over and over and over again. Something about a little bit more of a thicker pot concealer just helped with the coverage so much. Again, if I'm having days where I am having a bad breakout, I always go back to the Nars Soft Matte, so I have to have that in there. But then I also just really wanted a nice full coverage concealer for my under eyes. And even though the LYS is a little bit newer to me, I thought about the Lancome Tinted Dull. I really enjoyed that one as well. Like, I like the e.l.f. Camo, I like the Dose of Colors, but I was like, the LYS, I just keep using this all the time, all the time, all the time. I have so much makeup in front of me, and a lot of the products sprinkled in is just what I use on a daily basis. I'm like running out somewhere, I just need to put a few things on. Concealer is always one of those products for me. It's typically the LYS. And this isn't even a bad price. So like, if I was just gonna keep rebuying this, I think it's like $18 or something at Sephora. LYS is definitely one of the more affordable brands there, but I feel confident in that. Those would be my two concealers. And then we'll finish it off with some obvious categories to me and obvious choices. If you are part of the Sam Squad, you've been around my channel for a while. For mascaras, if I can only have two and I'm just gonna like keep repurchasing them for all of time, Rare Beauty, Milani Highly Rated Anti-Gravity. I wear these all the time. I talk about these all the time. You have, you know, a little bit more expensive option, a little bit more affordable option. I'm wearing the Milani today on my lashes. Both of these make my lashes longer, fuller, darker. They do not move. I like the Rare Beauty just a little bit more than I like the Milani, but if these were the only two mascaras that I could keep having in my collection, I would be completely fine. I've repurchased both of these. I don't know, I think I'm on like 4 or 5 of the Rare Beauty, and then I've repurchased the Milani maybe like 3 times now. I started trying it just a little bit after the Rare Beauty, but I recommend those all the time. They're what I wear the most. And then moving on to lip products, again, I felt kind of like, I was like, are you sure? And I went over to my lip collection, but truly, these are my most worn lip products. These are older products in my collection, which just means they've made it through so many declutters. These I'm constantly wearing. They're constantly in my clutch. I constantly wear them out. And these are what was featured in my video talking about all of the oldest makeup in my collection. From Charlotte Tilbury, what I have on today, the iconic nude lip liner and the Very Victoria lipstick. And from MAC, the Whirl lip liner and the Honey Love lipstick. I wear these all the time. They're some of my favorite lip products. Both the lip liners I think are so long wearing. Like, look at my tiny little iconic nude. This was my first product that I purchased from Charlotte Tilbury and I was so impressed. And Very Victoria, again, it's what I have on today. It's just a go-to nude lip option, a little bit darker, but I think that it's so beautiful. And then for MAC, again, very long wearing lip pencil. I actually have 2 Whirls, and I think my other one is a little bit on the smaller side, but I repurchased Whirl at some point because I was like, no, I need to have 2 of these. Like, did I really need to have 2? Probably not, but like, at least I do. And now you're taking away all of my lip products. Like, that's what I want. And then the MAC Honey Love, I've had this for such a long time. Again, this is in my project pan, but look at that. A little bit lighter in tone than the Very Victoria, but like just the other night, I went out on Saturday night for my friend's birthday. Whirl and Honey Love is what I wore. Tonight, I'm wearing the Charlotte Tilbury. Like, these are my most worn lip products. I don't want to be without them in my collection. I did also want to include a gloss. I thought about the Huda Beauty Silk Balm. I really like that. But from Sigma Beauty, these are the lip oils, and I wanted to include these because I wear them on top of a lip liner, on top of a lipstick. Sometimes I just wear them alone by themselves, like kind of more as, not necessarily like a lip mask, but kind of. They're very moisturizing, they're very hydrating, they feel good on the lips. And this one is my shade in Tint, and I don't know if you can tell, like when I use this, I kind of got to be scraping at the sides here because there's just not a lot left. I don't go through lip glosses or really, quite honestly, anything in my collection very quickly because I have so much. I always have so much new coming in. I need to look at my spreadsheets. I want to say for the last probably year, If not, I want to say maybe around March, I really started having a problem again, but maybe even for the last year. I'm pretty sure I spend like at least $300 a month on makeup, if not more. Like, I'm always bringing in new stuff and trying new stuff. So to go through a product, that shows you I really like it. So I really wanted to include the Sigma lip oils because I think that they're fabulous. I'm an affiliate with Sigma. My code is Samantha if you want to try those out, but they're truly one of my favorite products from the brand. So that's everything. You might be thinking, Samantha, I think you missed a category. I think you missed a category, girl. Eyeshadow palettes. Okay, I did not include any eyeshadow palettes in this video because we are going to do a separate video. There has also been a tag, I'm sure I've done this on YouTube as well, of if I could only keep 10 eyeshadow palettes, because I just thought it's gonna be so hard for me to narrow it down to 2. I also thought it would be fun to do that video, I want to say in like a vlog style-ish, but just kind of having all of my palettes out so you can see them, and then me trying to choose like, okay, if I have this one, this one. That's my plan for the eyeshadow palette video. So we're gonna do that separately, but I want to hear your feedback. How many do you think that I can keep? Keep in mind, I have over 100 eyeshadow palettes. Can I keep 20? Can I keep 10? 5? A random number like 13? Let me know in the comments what you think that I can do, and then that video will be coming soon. We'll have it fully dedicated on eyeshadow palettes. If I was decluttering every single one of my eyeshadow palettes and I was only keeping 7, what are the 7 that they would be? Let me know what you think in the comments, but other than that, that is going to do it for today's video, talking about if I were to declutter all of my makeup, what are the products that I would keep and continue to repurchase and use. Honestly, if you took away all of my makeup products except for what I showed you today, I think that I would be just fine. I think that I would be surviving. I think that I would be thriving. You know, it might make my job a little bit more difficult as a beauty YouTuber, but I think I would have a very clean apartment and I wouldn't be so stressed when I opened up my closet to all of my makeup. But these are just my go-to products. Again, my travel products, and I think that we would get along really well together. We would live a happy life together. I would love to know the products that you would keep, of course. Let me know in the comments, and as always, if you enjoyed this one, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you also consider subscribing before you go, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.